one family at least, the Qaadan family, Palestinian citizens of Israel, they said, well, I mean, Israel is ostensibly a democracy, so why can't we just buy a house in the next town over or in the next village? And so they did this. They applied for a permit to build a house in the next village, and they were told no. We only allow Jewish people to buy land and to build houses here. We boycott non-Jews. Now, this seemed to be an obvious case of discrimination, so the Qaadan family took it to the court system and it actually went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And in the Supreme Court, the court asked the JNF, the Jewish National Fund, to respond to these charges of racism, because in Israel, most of the land is actually either owned by the government or by quasi-state organizations like the Jewish National Fund. And so this is what the JNF had to say in response to these charges. It said, the JNF is not a public body that works for the benefit of all citizens of the state. The loyalty of the JNF is given to the Jewish people, and only to them is the JNF obligated. The JNF does not have a duty to practice equality towards all citizens of the state. Well, with this kind of response, the Supreme Court did find in favor of the Qaadan family, said this is base discrimination, and they should be allowed to purchase land and to build a house in that village. That's good, but unfortunately, as so often happens with the Supreme Court, they lay down the law and they launder the worst excesses of the Knesset, and then the Knesset just comes up with another way to get around this new ruling. In fact, they passed a new law that they ceremoniously dubbed the Qaadan loophole law, and so they did. They got around the law just saying, well, from now on, towns and villages across the country can refuse admittance, can restrict admission to Jews only. Well, as long as you don't say it's for racial reasons, as long as you say you don't fit the cultural profile, but you don't even have to explain what that is. You don't have to justify it. And as long as you just use this neutral language, towns and villages can continue to boycott non-Jewish people, people of color, queer people, whoever doesn't fit your idea of a cultural profile. But most often it affects Palestinian citizens of Israel.